So this is going to be a guide on how to kill Ambassador with level 80 Necro. So I have 4 pieces of Death Dealer. I'm using my Zut Cape. I am using tier 80 weapons. I have runes for Prism of Restoration. I have a Blood Reaver with scrolls. And I'm using the Vampirism Aura. If you don't have cinderbanes, I recommend getting a friend to dart this. It's just not going to be fun if you don't have cinderbanes. Yeah, these are like the most important thing for being able to solo Ambassador with Necromancy. With cinderbanes, we're gonna borrow from the ranged build, the poison build, where we're just gonna stack as much healing as we possibly can. Well, luckily, Necromancy has a lot of built-in healing, which is nice. With the Vengeful Ghost, we also have built-in poison with the Putrid Zombie. So Ambassador has a couple main mechanics. His primary attack is range. We don't care about that. We're just gonna camp Soul Split for all of his range attacks. He summons black holes. For the black holes, we're going to stun them with Soul Strike. We should always, with this bar, I've never not had enough stacks to just cast Soul Strike. Also, we're only using the first 7 slots for Revolution. So yeah, you just want to stun it with Soul Strike or your weapon special attack. That also stuns. If for whatever reason you don't have any stacks of Soul Strike. He has a blue, like, beam that comes out, or orb that comes at you. That's a magic attack. You just pray magic when it's about to hit you. And then he has spinners. Or I guess before spinners, he has, he puts a cloud on you. That cloud drops miasma under you that deals constant typeless damage wherever you leave it. So generally, you want to move that to an area where you're not going to be standing. The best place to put it is in melee range of an Ambassador. Oh, and then he has spinners. So what we're going to do for spinners is you just need to damage them as much as you can. Because we have runes for Bone Shield and all of our defensive abilities, if we don't kill all of the spinners, then we have options. But if we don't kill all of the spinners, then we'll get to that when we get there. But for now, yeah, we're just going to go in. Let me get a poison potion. So we're gonna pot up, go to the edge of the arena. Use darkness, summon all of our ghosts, activate Vengeful Ghost, activate Skeleton, I don't know if darkness helps, but it might, so that's fine. We're gonna summon Prism, because our Blood Reaver is taking a lot of damage. We're gonna stun the black hole. Pray magic. Make sure our Blood Reaver is on top of the Prism. We're gonna drop this up here. You want to try to drop your the smokes like kind of on top of each other. So you want to like walk to the edge of one of the smokes before you drop one. It just makes life a lot easier. Okay, so for spinners, we're gonna skip that out one. We're gonna use Finger of Death. Finger of Death. Basic attack. We're gonna use Volley of Souls. Gonna use basic. Gonna use special attack. Gonna use special attack. Okay, I actually clicked it that time. Okay, then we're just gonna use basic. We're gonna try to use Touch of Death to build stacks for another for another Finger of Death. Use Finger of Death here. Use a 2-stack volley. Okay, we killed all the spinners except one. That's totally fine. So Ambassador's gonna do a range attack. We're gonna pray ranged and then resonance. Pray magic. If you miss the res, it's like fine. The timing is actually decently finicky. Drop the smoke in melee range. Summon a prism. We're gonna drink a spiritual prayer to restore our Blood Reaver's points. And then we have to make sure we drop our prism because if our Blood Reaver dies, that's really bad for us. Make sure our Putrid Goblin is summoned. Gonna drop the smoke over here. Gonna go back this way. Okay. Gonna skip that one. Finger of Death. Summon Skeleton. Finger of Death. Basic attack. Volley of Souls. Activate Skeleton, because Skeleton does a lot of damage. We're going to Death Skulls here. Stand pretty close to it to get bounces. We're going to Finger of Death here. Basic attack. Here we have enough for a 2-stack volley. Or no, we can get a 3-stack volley here. That's really good. Okay, we killed it, so we have 1 spinner to worry about. Gonna pray range. Or magic, because a magic hit's coming. And then we're just gonna eat that hit. That's like totally fine. Summon a prism. Drink a spiritual prayer.
You should surrender now.
We are gonna eat a little bit. And now we just need to drop his health to 450k, I believe, or maybe it's 400k. Okay, we're gonna stun this. Go back to hitting Ambassador. Drink Spiritual Prayer so our Blood Reaver can heal us. At this point, we've like passed most of the big DPS checks, so we're just gonna start using our like hard-hitting abilities so we can just phase him. Once we get to 400k, phasing him is gonna be like really important because it'll clear all of the smoke. We're in Living Death, and because we don't have to worry about spinners anymore, we can just focus on we can focus on doing a Living Death rotation. So we're gonna try to use Finger of Death whenever we can. Sarah, you kills everything, he heals us a little bit. Pray magic. So now Ambassador is gonna summon hands, and this is gonna be a pretty important part of the fight. You want to stand decently close to him. And you want to catch all of the white smoke. Any white smoke that hits him is going to heal him. Or any smoke in general that hits him is going to heal him. When he starts talking, you want to pray magic and devotion. And now you want to build up to 100% adrenaline. Pray magic, keep catching the smokes. You want to eat. I want to reflect or debilitate. Both of those are good. I did both. Okay, so now we'll have devotion up for his next round of magic attacks. We're going to use our hard-hitting abilities. And just eat up and keep hitting him. And then we're just going to keep rotating around him. Devotion. And keep rotating around him. Put Soul Split back on to make sure that we're healing. Protect Magic. And he should be getting executed soon. Nice. And there it is. So we ate a ton of food. If I was using Cerebrews, so like for you guys, you would be using Cerebrews and overloading. So you would have way more food than I do. But you would be, we used a lot of food, but like we did it. We were never really at any risk of dying. If we had our Sign of Life, then like we would have been even safer. But yeah, that's what an Ambassador kill is going to look like. You're heavily relying on your Blood Reaver and your Cinderbanes and like all of your healing and Vampirism Aura. Like you're relying on the Poison Synergy to do a lot of your damage. But like my rotations weren't optimal. I was sitting on max stacks of Finger and max stacks of Volley for a really long time. So like my damage was pretty bad. I was mostly focused on like explaining what's going on to you guys and not dying. But like we still had a good amount of food left. We would have had even more food if I had Bruise and if I was overloaded because my defense level would have been higher. But yeah. The big thing is I didn't use any. I used a Resonance once. It didn't do anything. But I do have Bone Shield on. If you're like going to actually cast your defensive abilities, something that you can do is during the last phase you can alternate Devotion and Barricade. But we used Reflect once. If we just debilitated an 8, that would have been fine as well. But you want to alternate your Devotion and then another like damage reduction or Barricade in order to survive the alternating magic attacks. That's going to be really important. But yeah, Ambassador is definitely a big step up from Nex and Telos, but it is very doable with tier 80s. It's good to solo, and just with good rotations and using your strong abilities on spinners, you'll never have to deal with like multiple spinners, because that's always the nightmares, having to deal with multiple spinners. If you don't have Bone Shield and don't want to use it, you can bring any shield so you have Barricade. It's not required at all, but it is something that you can do. But yeah, that's how you kill Ambassador.